What's up, YouTube? Back with another video. LA Mamba. Today is Wednesday, July 13, 2022. And here to tell you the facts of tire shop business. I'm not here to sell you anything. So we're closed already, and I wanted to tell you guys of past experiences when buying used tires. I've been in this business my whole life because my dad was the one that started this shop. So I grew up here in the shop, and I'm sitting here over 25 years working on the business. But I was remembering that as I was looking at these tires right now, of past experiences of buying used tires. So you see different places, let's say online, or you see there's warehouses of used tires, and it's like, or maybe tire shops that sell used tires that, like, I've buying a lot of tires from used tire shops, and like, okay, well, which one's the ones that I should get, I should buy? How do I do it? You know, I got money, but I don't want to get screwed. I don't want to get stuck with a bunch of tires that I'm not going to be able to sell. And so let me show you different examples I've been through in my life since, you know, just an example. I buy about, I say every 2 to 3 weeks, I buy tires. I mean, I always buy tires consistently with small amounts here and there, but really, like, it's about every 3 weeks I get in like bigger loads. So I have a whole bunch of stories I can tell you when it comes to what we've been here, what we've been through here. And the good ones, the bad ones, the great ones, I can tell you a whole bunch of stories because I've lived through them. And I wanted to share with you guys because I know there's a lot of people getting into the business, a lot of people new to the business, and they want to just grow, and they have the money, but they don't know how to choose the tires. They don't know how to select. They don't know if they're gonna get screwed, if they're gonna get, you know, on and on and on. What about the warranties, right? So I will use a few of my dad's purchases because I was the ones that always had the great experiences. Usually my dad was the one that was, you know, doing bad choices when it comes to buying tires. You know, sometimes you think you're doing good, but sometimes you make mistakes, and then someone else can see that you're making mistakes, and it's like, at the end of the result, whatever happens, you like, okay, was it a good buy or was it a bad buy? Of course, I can tell you right away before you even buy the tires if it's a good buy or a bad buy. So one time, my dad, he needed some tires, so he goes to this tire shop, a big tire chain, and this man was a smart old man, the one who owned that old chain, but not smart in a good way. As in, like, I'm gonna smart, I'm gonna get your ass. So my dad goes, and then he says, hey, you got any used tires? I said, oh yeah, we got a bunch. So then he like goes, and then he checks out this like one room, and then I don't know, I was not there. Supposedly the story goes like this, that there was mixed tires of good and bad. And as in not bad like trash, but like bad like low quality used tires. And good like normal used tires. And he goes and he says, all right, how much each tire? And then the guy goes, what, I don't know, $5 each one or $6 each one, something like that. But you gotta take them all. And my dad goes, sold. And then he comes back and then he comes tell me and my sister, hey, go pick up the tires I'm gonna buy. And then I was like, what? Like, you know, like, what do you mean gonna buy? You know, have you seen them or something? And like, no, yeah. It's because he was like, there's about this much. And I'm like, did you choose that much? He's like, no, but you gotta buy them all. I'm like, oh man. So then, you know, I had a hunch it was not gonna be good. So me and my sister goes with the 20-foot truck that we had back then. We go to this room to pick up the tires, and I look at the tires, and I'm like, this is all junk. They were all super low tread. And then I told my sister, hey, these are all junk. Like, you know, we shouldn't, you know, let's just get out of here. He's like, no, well, he already did the deal. And then the old man's right there just looking at us. And then I'm like, ooh, you know, okay, well, you know, let's load. Hopefully there's good ones in here inside, because I don't see no good ones. So we're loading. No good. Pretty much go, loading. I'm like, dude, I told my sister, these are all junk. And there was hundreds of them. And she's like, I know. And she's like, we're just gonna have to go straight to the trash with this one. And I'm like, fuck. So I pretty much pay the guy because I had the money. And then my sister goes straight to the dump. And that was my dad's sale right there, his purchase. My dad's purchase. And I was like, Dad, like, that, you know, those are all junk. What were we thinking? Oh, well, you know, I thought I saw some good ones. I'm like, dude, that's all junk. He's like, oh, man. So, I'll tell you guys what happened is, I don't know if the guy mixed them or not, but the thing is that my dad didn't choose them. So rule number 1 is choose your tires. Choose the tires. So you look, you see the size, you know, people love like Pirellis, like, you know, oh, Pato Pirelli, it's a badass brand, blah, blah, blah. I don't really care about that shit. You know, I do care about good quality, because this style of business is about selling a whole bunch of tires. And customers don't give a damn if it's a Pirelli or if it's a Ching Chong tire or whatever. And they'll say, okay, how much is it? You know, it's a 45 plus tax. Oh, or whatever it is. Okay, yeah. All right, let's do it. They see this is what they see. And then nice and straight, right? And it's all good. You know, they're like, oh, let's see, there's no cracks on the sidewalls, no cracks on the tires, right? And then, oh, okay, it's good. All right, sold, right? So here we go. Yes, you can sell the tires for more if you're gonna put them online and you know, sell them for a lot. You know, it's gonna be best if you do it probably like in sets of 4. Yeah, you can do 2s. I'm saying like online, like eBay, let's just say eBay. Like if you're gonna sell online and deliver those, like sell those things, usually 4 is really gonna be worth your time, because let me tell you, if you have a tire shop, you are super fucking busy all day, every day. Like, I can't tell you how much things there is to do at a shop. We gotta clean, we gotta move stuff, we gotta move tires, we gotta cut tires, we gotta help out the customers, of course, customers. We gotta eat, you know, we gotta move more tires, we gotta answer our phone calls, you know, we gotta text back to customers, I want the tires. There's a ton. So if you're gonna be posting stuff online, it's gotta be worth it. So like for me, I wouldn't post this. I don't sell on eBay, but I wouldn't post this tire on eBay unless I had 4 the same, and that goes for like pretty much anything. If you're gonna do I'm sorry, not Craigslist. If you're gonna do OfferUp, then yeah, 2, great, 4, because that's like regular customers, you know. But eBay, you know, now you got to customers have to pay shipping, so it's gotta be really worth it for the customer. Now the brand does count. Now you get the Pirelli does count, the Michelin does count, but that's if you're gonna go online, like the delivery service, eBay. But you're gonna do the other stuff, you can just post whatever and it's gonna sell. It doesn't matter what brand it is. It just sells. So I'm telling you right now. How do I know? Because I do it every single day. Like I post online, it sell. Here the customers sell. I mean, I'm just busy all day. I mean, that's what you want, right? Be mounting tires all day, every day. Well, that's what it is if you're just doing things the right way. So again, pick your tires if you're gonna go buy used tires. Another story. So, okay, one of the reasons, let me go back. You want to pick your own tires? One of the big reasons is because of the quality, okay? So, if quality is not an issue, then let me go to my next story. My next story is, now this was my deal that came through my sister. So, we would pick up at a real big chain. I mean, these people are the biggest. I'm not gonna name, but these people are the biggest when it comes to the wrecking yard business. I mean, they're the biggest. They're massive. I mean, I used to go, and there used to be a lot of tires. These people would be dismounting all the time, tires, signing those rims. Every week we would have a lot of tires from them, and it was a deal that went like this. We had to buy all the tires, pretty much. So, sets of 4 are at this price, and the bigger ones are at this price. I don't remember the details. This was years ago. But pretty much I would buy a lot of their sets. They will come in, and you would look at the tires like, man, those are good sets. Like a lot of tread, and so let's say if there were 20s, right? Let's say it was like 275 55 20s, and let's say it was like a 205 55 20. I'm sorry, 205 55 16s, so little tire. We would pretty much pay almost like the same price, or I think it was the same price for each set. It was just like every set is this price. I don't remember what was the difference between those, like another price. I think it was like 22s and up or something. But the point is this: the tires were coming in, a lot of sets, and they did have a lot of tread, but they were like, example again, 205 55 16 Ironman, and we would pay something like, at the time, fuck, I don't remember, I think it was like $35 a tire. I think it was 140 a set or something like that, or 160 a set or something like that. Back then, it was pretty much either at the same price as a brand new tire, or maybe I paid a little bit even more on the used tire set than if it was a brand new set. And I was like, man, this shit sucks. And I was buying because we had a deal with the company, and I was knocking them out. I was just out, but man, it was like I was like doing all the work when it comes to and not making much, because if you offer to a customer, it was like, okay, this is the price for new and this is the price for used, and it was like the same price, and it was like, and I actually had to say, like, you know, the new ones cost a little bit more, maybe offer a little brand that's a little bit more expensive, just so they would like take, why is the same price of used or new, you know what I mean? It was like, that shit sucked. So that one was sucky because we had to buy everything, and it was very expensive. And then not only that, was another bad deal on the side of that when it comes to the picking up their used ones. But that was even worse on her side. But on my end, I was the one buying all the high tread stuff, and we have a lot of sets. And yeah, eventually, you know, we cut that deal because like it's too expensive. And it's pretty much that company was like taking advantage of any person they dealt with. When it comes to like the little guy, they was like taking advantage of him. And I saw that even after us, the next guy who took over that deal. Anyway, that's not the story. The point of the story. The point is, very expensive. It was very expensive, and there was no profit. Like, so I mean, you live and learn, right? And that was months of that. Let me tell you next story. One time I went to a tire shop that did wholesaling, and then it was like their first time getting into the business, and those are the really good times to get in when it goes time to go buying from them. And so I go and I look, and I was like, man, this guy has pretty good stuff. So I guess this guy would at the beginning mix his inventory that he sells with the used tires, and he would mix it with the wholesaling business, and he would get it from wreck yards. And you know, that's a lot of work getting it from wreck yards. So he did have a lot of good stuff, and he didn't really know the business in the beginning. He did get it after. He got the point after, but the point is, when I went, it was like, you can choose anything you want. And I was like, really? And yeah, so man, I started choosing, like, it was this one warehouse on the side. They had like their own inventory on another warehouse, but it was still like, I can tell they were mixing it, you know? Like, it wasn't like, these are mine, the good shit is mine, and then these are like for sale. Nah, this guy had just, man, he's like, you like these right here? And I was like, yeah, dude, like, you know, 235, 75, 15s. That's like the super hardest tire to find anywhere right now, and even before. And I was like, dude, if you have like 100 of these, I'll buy them and shit. He's like, oh, really? I do. And I was like, okay, let me go see them. Yeah, he fucking showed me them. And man, that was like black gold right there. I bought all that shit, and I just bought like, it was like 3 trucks I bought from that guy. And I think he saw after that he messed up, because like, no, the prices were like, they were not cheap. They was like good, but I think he's like, fuck, I gave that guy all of my good shit, you know? And so yeah, I freaking got all this stuff, and man, it was so beautiful. It was so packed after that. It was like one of the best deals I've ever done when buying used tires. It was so good. A lot of super hard sizes, 215, 70, 15s. I mean, you name it, all the hard stuff, 14s, like I mean, everything. This guy had everything, and I know it took a lot of time to collect for that guy to do that, because I know the business. I know how hard it is to like have good shit like that. Even for me, when I have good stuff like that, if I look at my shop like super good shit, then it's like, man, this took so much hard work. And once it's at the tires are at the tire shop, you're good, you're set, you got it down. Like, you know, you're gonna be selling all this shit very easy, like no problem. It's gonna go and go and go and go, and then just, and even if you post it, like sometimes I don't even want to post this stuff. I was just, the reason I wouldn't post a lot of stuff online, because I would want my customers to get the good shit, and my customers got the good shit, and then they recommended their friends and family, and then they came for the good shit, and it just became like a big snowball in my area. And we just, you know, all these people were just getting the good shit around here. And then even if it took a little bit longer, like let's say it took like a month more to sell hundreds of tires, right? It still didn't matter, because when you're super busy in the tire shop business, it's gonna trickle down like 6 months, a year and a half, 2 years from now, because they're gonna remember what they saw and what they got, and then next time they need tires, you're gonna be the first person they hit up. So then that's why I would just, like, in that load for sure, I didn't fucking put that shit up online. I kept it all for us, and all these customers, they just, you will see my shop packed all the time. It was packed, like it is now, but like even more when I have more customers, more workers. And yeah, it was very, very good. But it's harder to get tires like that, and that way harder to get tires like that now than I got here and there tires like that, but not like that much, you know. So next story. So there was this the used tire wholesale company that they were really packed with those sizes back then. And this is a lot of years ago, and I was one of the first guys, one of the only guys that knew a lot about this kind of shit back then, the wide tires. And I was like, I can tell you because these tires were like there, and like a lot of people know this place. And I came in, I started picking. I would look at tires like racks way far, and I can tell you the size and the brand, and I'll tell you, I want that one, and I'll like climb to the rack. There was like 4 levels of tires, of racks, and I'll climb and I'll just throw them down. And I mean, it's hours. It'll take like the whole day picking in that one time or that one place. And yeah, I'll get massive amounts of tires. Again, but those tires are the low pros. So the low pros, you know, that sells way better on the internet. So I was internet. I mean, back then I used to do a lot of military tires and a lot of all-terrain tires. So then I would pick also a lot of the big ones, LTs, 315 75 16s, you know, 315 70 17s, and a lot of 37s, 20s. Back then the 37 17s would sell more. Bigger stuff, 38 20s, whatever, like big ones, like 40s. Then like this place would have them. But a lot of people knew about the all-terrain stuff back then, but a lot of people didn't know about the muscle car stuff. And so I would go in and grab in, and I'll get like a full truckload, which is like usually like 600-700 tires. And then after truck back then they had some good stuff back then, because I think back then what happened was they were the biggest place, and they were the #1 place for this one company, which is the biggest company in SoCal, which is, back then it was called Lakin Tires. I don't know what it's called now, but things have changed drastically since then. So if they were the biggest, you know, buyer of the biggest company, they had all the good shit, and a lot of people wouldn't go. Like this guy, I think what he liked to do was ship overseas, because he would like sell wholesaling overseas, and just whatever little people who came in the shop back then. Because I used to go a lot, and I wouldn't see a lot of tire shop there. Just like a little guy here and there, like picking their own tires, a little stuff, but like older people, you know. And back then it was like more señores, like a lot of the older men. It wasn't like a lot of younger guys like me. And then so like I would get in, I would just do truck after truck of picking, and then what happened was they started letting me pick straight from the trucks, because they would raise the price on me, and then I would be the one picking. And yeah, in those days it was expensive what they were signing for, but man, I used to get truck after truck after truck. I'm talking about the 53 footers. I will be the only guy going to the truck, and then getting all the tires and just bring them like, and it was beautiful. I mean, it was so much good tires, so everything, like high tread, like a lot of stuff was like brand new. A lot of 195 50 15s. I mean, the 315 75 6. I mean, 315 75 16s, 315 35 20s. I mean, 295 35 20s. And 295 35 18s, 275 40 17s. I mean, you name it. I keep going on and on with the stuff they had. And because I was the one that was just like the only one like getting these tires, those were like probably my best years because I would get like truck after truck after, and they would have like thousands of tires that we were bringing in like every year, because it was like once a month that I would do this. And then they messed up big time. They messed me up too, because they figure they were paying too much for these tires from Lakin. And then I would pay them a lot for the tires, but they, you know how sometimes companies change their mind and think that by cutting costs is better. And so they cut the cost of buying expensive tires from there, and they started buying more tires from like overseas, China or Japan or Korea. But it's a whole different tire, even though it's a lot of tread, but it doesn't have these fucking sizes. And they messed up big time, and they just started going smaller and smaller and smaller. And then they got like 4 times smaller than what they were, because they messed it up over there. They didn't buy the good shit, and if they didn't buy the good shit, there was a lot of people didn't buy, and so like they just held on to a bunch of junk. Well, not junk, but a lot of like tires that didn't move. And they messed up big. And then I was like, fuck, man, what did they do that for? It's like messed me up, but it was all right. I was already good by then. It was exciting times back then. So again, I picked every single tire. I would go and dig through the racks and all that stuff, and I was there for like every day. I mean, not every day. Every time I went, it was a full day. So that was that one. Smaller deals. I'm trying to remember the stories that I told you in the past, so I don't want to tell you those again in my other videos. I want to tell you new ones. There is the stories of the military tires. I'll tell you the military tire years, because a lot of people don't know about it. If you probably know my shop, and I was the #1 seller of the whole military tires for years. If you will see the ads online, anything you type, you will see military tires because of me. So, military tire talk. So what happened was, I found a guy that had the tires in SoCal, and he would buy them from the military auctions, and he loved it. He actually is considered one of my mentors. I still talk to him now. Very smart guy when it comes to business. And as I grew, this guy just, wherever he was growing, and still is like, now it's just growing even more. Like, man, this guy is badass. But anyways, he would buy them from the auctions and bring them to his big land and sell the military tires. And we would do deals on what prices and what quality. And so I went the first time with a smaller truck, and I think it was 2 times I went. And we bought, he liked how, we did business, pay up front when it comes in picking the tires. And then, the truck got too small, and then I was like, I need a bigger truck. So I bought a big truck, and then we went back, then I was able to buy a lot more. And so these military tires, I would pick them, and I would have to fix them because they needed a lot of work. It was a lot of work to get these tires running. And I knew how to do it. I was like, I have to fix them first, and then I'll post them for sale. So it was a lot of work. And at the same time, I would go buy rims at night, because my niche was the 16.5 tire and wheel. So I would buy wheels for cheap because no one had tires for these. I was the only one who had them. So I was able to get super cheap rims all over SoCal, quality ones, weld wheels and center lines. and I would put them together, and I would sell them for like $800 a set of 4, when I would have hundreds of tires. But my main thing was the tires only, and installing them on the trucks. So then I would buy from this guy hundreds of military tires and sign like every single day, every week. I mean, lots of sets, pairs, whatever, singles. People will buy 8, 10, 12, 15, whatever, 20 at a time, because I was the only one that had them. High tread. I mean, these tires were, I was signing them back then for like $150 a tire, and if you looked on brand new, how much they were worth, they were like $800 a tire. And so I was getting a good deal. I was just going, and I started expanding into like other things like military rims. I was starting going to 16s, the 325 85 16. Those were really high. They were like 38.5-inch high, and those were high profit too. And those you can put them on 16-inch rim. You know how many 16-inch rim tall trucks is there? Back then it was like a lot of them, so I was selling those a lot. But mainly the military ones, the ones that was just like you couldn't compete. Like the new ones compared to what the even like 35 12 50 17 compared to a 37 12 50 16 5. If you want to compare a price on the new versus the used, and the used one was like the same quality, and they would last longer because they're military grade. Like it was just no comparison. It was just sound a lot, and that was like the most profitable time ever in my life when it came to selling used tires, because it was a high profit margin. And so if you guys are out there near military bases, later on he just stopped signing them, and then he just moved out of state. He became more successful, and he stopped doing the tire business. So if you're out there, you know, near bases, you can benefit so much by the military tires. I'm telling you right now, that's like one of the big secrets I'll tell you right now. Military tires, 37 12 50 16 5s. Buy them, run with them, sell a whole bunch. You're gonna have a lot of buyers. I wish I can have them, but I'm not gonna go out of state and pick the tires and bring them back. It's not worth my time. When I'm super busy here every single day, cash flow's coming in every single day, it's great. I don't want to move nowhere, and that's how it should be. I think like if you're doing so great, then just keep going until it slows down. Then you want to think about something else. Well, it's just my opinion, right? But I'm not gonna go out of state. Pretty much what I'm saying, to get military tires. I'm rather just not sell no more. Let someone else do the business, and just continue with tire sales when it comes to the masses, right here, with the moving bulk in tires for the tire shop business. So that was that one. There was another time that I had 2 wholesale companies that I was their number one choice, or the top one or top second. So these one will bring them from out of state. I think he would choose them from like Colorado. And so this guy had like a lot of stuff that, and they're still going and going. I believe they're still going and going, but it's not like I used to be. Things were way different back then. But he would choose things that were from another state that was running out there. So like we didn't see that here in Cali a lot. Things like 31 10 50 15, like mud terrains. Same thing, 235 75 15, like mud terrains, right? A lot of like 33 12 50 20 mud terrains. 195 50 15s. Weird stuff. Like now it's really weird, but 295 35 18s. Just a lot of different things. Of course, all the regular stuff. I'm not going to mention all the regular stuff. LTs, 245 75 16 high treads, 285 75 16 like sets of like BFGs. You know, like a lot of like even just regular Cooper brand and but the size, it was good. You know, it was good. So I would have like trucks to choose from. Again, containers, 53 footers. I would choose my tires, and also choose from the warehouse. So it was like a double whammy for like one of the warehouses. Choose the containers and then choose from the warehouses in one day. Again, it'll take me like almost like all day. Get tired, you know, have to have lunch there and all that, you know, calories and stuff. But man, the tires would get so good. Yeah, we would get a lot of that company. Then they moved and we still bought from that company. Again, things changed, and it just wasn't the same after that. And so then another company, at the same time, I was also choosing from this other company. Again, a lot of low pros. They had much more options back then when it comes to low profiles. A lot of 305 3020s, 295 3520s, 315 3520s. You know, now it's way less. The things have changed a lot. No one has that stuff nowadays. But at the same time, I'll be able to hit up 2 spots. And I've never chosen from a container from them, but I was like their #1 guy. And I was able to get like all this like beautiful. Nowadays, see, the thing is this, like it takes so much work to go and pick that I don't have time and I don't do it and I don't get the good stuff in. But what happens is I trade in that time to put in time for my passive cash flow income, like the things I do when it comes to the passive cash flow. So now the money comes in automatically. I don't have to hustle hard. And eventually, you know, I'm gonna get bigger with that, and I'm not gonna be able to have to work in my older years. But I'm still building that. I'm still trying to buy more properties, and I'm trying to still like flip or whatever I can get my hands on. You know, replace my current cash flows that leave. But back then, I didn't have that. All I knew was the tire business, so I would just go and spend my time and just dig through these tires and get. So I was like having like. If I was going back then like once a week, whether it was all those places I just told you about, you know, sometimes once a month from the one place, a lot of times like, you know, twice a month. But for me, working, it was every week. I was going and choosing. So if you have that time to go find different places and bring in tires, you're gonna be able to get in a whole bunch. You're gonna be bringing them in and all this good shit. So let me tell you another story. One time, and a lot of times it's just luck. You just go in and there's like a set of like it was like a wall of like BF Goodrich all-terrain tires, like all like brand new, high tread. I think even some had a sticker or something, but they were like 33 top 15s, 315 75 16s, 285 75 16s, 265 75 16s, like all the hot shit. And I was like, well, you know, what's up with those, you know? Oh, they're for some guy. I was like, I figured. I was like, all right, cool. Just pick my shit, you know, getting my stuff. And I had a good bunch of stuff too. A bunch of hours there working, picking up tires, and picking my tires. And then they come to me, hey, so you're interested in these? I'm like, hell yeah. These gonna be like, I think he told me like $35 these tires. Like, you know, tight price, but these were like brand new tires. I was like, fuck yeah, I'll get them all. And I got them all, and I held some for very expensive. So you're gonna be able to sometimes just get lucky, like, because you just showed up, and it's like, hey, well, you know was here, you want these? Hell yeah, you know, even though it's expensive or whatever, but you're gonna be able to get some good deals. I'm gonna try to keep the stories going. Let's see what I can come up with. Next story. Let me try to think of a bad one. A bad story when it comes to choosing tires. So this is a story of one tire shop that holds a bunch of tires for themselves, So they're like, these are what you can choose, and then these are ours, so we can't choose those. And then there's a guy in front of you that, you know, we're gonna hit up first before we hit you up. So then I was like, all right, well, let's see what we got here. So I started choosing tires for the first time at that place, you know, so they can see what kind of person I was when it comes to buying tires. So I was just getting tires, even though they're not that good. Sometimes like iffy tires, but just to prove it, like, you know, I can buy more than anybody here. Kind of like anybody in SoCal type of shit. And then, so it was like an investment. So I was able to show them that I can, you know, because people can say I can buy this and I can buy that, but unless you actually do it, that's the only way they're gonna be able to see it. So then I bought, and then it wasn't that much to begin with. It was a little bit because the other guy chose, and then the tires were not all that. And then what really saved me was, like, I said, oh, well, how much for those over there? And I actually really need them. And then, but it was their tires, right? It was some used ones, and I was like, oh, all right, give me like $35 each. So I got those, and then yeah, I sold those, made good money. But those ones, like, just little here and there, is not all that, because they're not high tread. They were not like good shit like this. So then I, you know, whatever, see what happens next time. I go again, and by the way, when you go choose tires, it has to be worth your time, because first of all, you can go buy tires anywhere else, and second, you're running a business, so like, time is money. You have to be making money when you go buy these tires, as in, like, when you're buying them, you're like, oh, how yeah, I'm gonna make good amount with this one, good amount with this one, because I guess that's one of the bad things with this business. If you want to really count like time, if I'm spending a full day picking tires, how much time does that cost me? So it just has to be worth it for you. So then I went the second time. Again, the same story. Left over from the second guy. From the first guy, I wasn't getting a lot of good stuff. Plus, it was a little bit. If it was a lot of tires, then it would be worth it. But I'm not a little guy. I need a bunch of tires. As a for shop, I need like a lot of tires in like one load. I can't be choosing like, you know, 50 tires and that's it. You know, I'm way too big for that. So again, I went, and it was like the same story. There was not a lot of tires when, you know, supposedly there were a lot of good tires and stuff. And then fourth time again, and I'm just waiting for like the good shit, but nothing good ever happened from that shop. It was just a bunch of like regular shit, and then it wasn't a lot of tread, like regular sizes and not a lot of tread. So pretty much I wasted like, I don't know, like a few months. I see it was four and a half months, 5 months going there, and nothing really good ever came from that thing. So that was a bad deal. So another time, now this is kind of like neutral. I went to the one spot, and yes, the prices were very low and the quality was good. So let's say a tire that I paid $15 for, they will sign me there for 10, and it was all right. Like 285 45 22s, I mean 275 55 20s. It was all right, you know, like when it comes to that. But you know, I got one truckload right there, and then also like what was good was that they had tires. What was more better about that place was they had 235 80 22 5s, 255 70 22 5s, 225 70 19 5s, 245 70 19 5s. It was all right when it comes to like picking those. So pretty much when I went the very first time, I got a whole bunch of good shit at a good price. I'm like, man, I paid a little bit for all this, and it was very good tires. I sold them; they were great, and it was like, I don't know, truckload right there. It was like probably like 500 tires, something like that, and then so the second time, the third time, the fourth time went, it was just like the same old thing. Like this guy was not like like a wholesale. This guy was like, oh yeah, we have a bunch of badass shit and all this. He really was just mainly about the semi truck tires. So like, yeah, he had 11.22.5, 11.25, which I got a lot of that stuff too, 11.24.5s. But he wasn't actively like bringing in like good shit. It was just like whatever he had and just, you know, that's it pretty much. You know, it wasn't really like a wholesaling place. So then I kind of wasted time there too, because like in the next few times I went, it was like the same stuff from the first time, and it was only like sometimes he would just bring in some decent ones when it comes to truck tires. So pretty much on the other times though, so you know, like the second, third time, fourth time, fifth time I went, I didn't buy anything because it's not worth my time getting like 20 tires, or even if you know, he didn't want to deliver 20 tires at all. No one does. Like, and I don't expect no one to deliver 20 tires, by the way. So then like, I don't buy, I just leave there and just go somewhere else. You know, go to another place and then I can make my money somewhere else. So a lot of times you're gonna go to these places. First time you're gonna buy and be badass, and then like the second, third, fourth time they just suck. The other example I used, I actually bought a few because I brought my own truck. The other one, I was like, I'm not even gonna load up my truck. I just like, you know, just leave and go somewhere else. Even though I had a truck back then, yeah, or I can have them deliver when I go in my car, because sometimes I go in my car only. I wouldn't, you know, waste my time just like that. So I would go, and that goes for other places too. Like if I would go and I look around and even the big places that I'm talking about, the one big place that that would buy from Lincoln Tires, like the biggest place that was back then, the biggest distributor for them, or buyer from them. I will go a lot of times to look, and they would just know good tires, and I would just live somewhere else. And again, remember I told you there was changes back then, like they weren't buying good stuff, and back then it was like buying hundreds and hundreds, and now it's like junk. Well, you gotta make it worth it for yourself. That if there are no good tires, like a lot of good stuff, you just leave and that's it. It's all good. I can tell you another spot. This one is actually a local tire shop, not that far from here. I would be the #1 customer again for like, you want to compare me anyway, because it's a small shop. It would be like the #1 customer in the whole shop, like all month or all year or whatever. Because I'll go like this one I will go like every month and a half, and I'll get all their good shit, and I'll leave their shop like just like decapitated. I'll bring all their stuff, and you know, it would help them out a lot because they needed the money. And so that's why I'll go and get some good deals. I'll pick anything in that shop pretty much. So sometimes I'll get some really good stuff. With time, I noticed that their quality started dropping. And this is like after a few years. So I would do that every month and a half for like years. And then time passed by, and they did have the tires, but a lot of them were bad. And yes, I will be able to return them. But this is like a waste of time. Like if you have like a shitload of bad ones, and it's like, and they do take them back, the person, but it's like, dude, like, I don't have time for this, like, time wasting activities, you know what I mean? Like, we gotta be able to like put them on right, and you know, customer goes and that's it. Because it's just, you know, like when we buy tires, we don't check them until we mount them onto the customer's rims. So we have to do our best to check the tire in and out and see if we see any nails, if we see any balls, anything that looks weird, if it's uneven. We have to do our best by eye, and then we're gonna mount it on the wheel, and test it on the customer's wheel when they're actually there. So it was killing a lot of our time. So I just straight out cut that shop, and I never went back again. Even though I just kept a bunch of their junk, and I'm just gonna call it a loss. I don't want to go back and like, exchange and all that stuff. They weren't doing it on purpose. It was just that they were not really selecting tires right. They must have changed the place where they got their tires, and it was just a bunch of junk. And I was like, man, I'll let them deal with their customers like that. I'm done. After like 3 trips of that, yeah, I mean, we can maneuver pretty quick on our side, but we don't want to waste time like that. And that's like a big time waster. So watch out with places that don't screen their tires right, and then you buy them, and then yeah, you can return them, but waste a lot of time while with the customer there in front of you. And it's like, fuck, look bad, because now the customer is about speed. They want to be in and out quick, so that's like kind of like one of the worst things that can happen, is just take a long time with your customer there. Get you another story. So let's see. Thinking to back throughout the years. Thinking back to the years. This one is a local auto wrecking yard that would buy cars, sell their parts. They had a machine there, so they'll take off the tire from the wheel and then sell me the tires, and they'll sell the aluminum scrap, whatever. So I had a truck back then, and I would go and buy these tires. So in the beginning, again, it always starts like that. In the beginning, it's very good, right? I go and I buy like, I don't know, like 1,000 tires. And lot of good, like high tread 15, old school tires now. Again, like these places are all like different. So this place had like a lot of Mercedes, like a lot of older cars. So a lot of older sizes. So a lot of 15s, a lot of 14s. So like 225, 60, 15, right? Weird size, but if you buy a bunch of them, it's good because you can sell sets of 4. 215, 70, 14s. I mean, all the 14s. There was 215, 45, 17, kind of old, like here and there. 225, 45, 17s. I mean, all the just the regular small 15, 185, 60, 185, 65, 15, 195, 65, 15. So I was getting them at a pretty regular price. I wasn't saving money with this guy, but it had a lot of high tread tires. So this one I wasn't able to return them, but I would just get like an extra 5 times, every 5 tires per 100, and I was cool with that. So I would have to drive my truck over there, pick them, but it was like a wrecking yard, so I had to like park the truck like in the entrance, and we're gonna have to like bring the tires from like way from the back. So they will have like this forklift that will like have this, just like this one platform. They'll load the tires from there, and they'll bring it all the way to my truck at the very end, not during when I was doing this. So when I was picking tires, I had to go like around the cars that are wrecking. It was like tires were all over the place. And so it was a lot of wasting time when it was like trying to look for the tires, and now this time I had to like actually check them real close, because like since I was having no warranties of like stamps, it was going off of like every 100. So then like I had to make sure I was not getting any junk ones that were like ripped on the side. So I had to be very careful, and so it took me a lot of time to actually like inspect every single tire, make sure and yeah, when I would bring them here, I did a really good job. I wasn't getting no messed up tires, just hit one here, one there, but it wasn't a lot. So it was a big time waster, because let's say it was like you know, after that, like every load was like 150 or something like that, 150 tire, which is not a lot for me. It's like too little. And so like I said before, it has to be worth your time to go and come back with tires. So like if you're only going for like 150, like that's not, like for me that was like nothing. So like I stopped going to that place because it was a lot of the same stuff over and over. Like there was no new things. It was just like the same stuff. And I was already packed with their tires already. And but every time when they were bringing cars, like it was only a little bit now, because the very first time they were piling up. And I was able to buy a whole bunch because they were just so packed. And after I went, the second, third time, fourth time, fifth time, sixth time, they were more controlled now, and they will probably bring like 200, you know, and it wasn't much. So like I had to like just get those, and whatever, it was a 125 or whatever it was. I just come back and like, man, that's not much. It's not worth my time. So like I started going, and I even take my truck and like a helper too, because it was so far. And that's another thing, I had to take a helper this time. So I had to have somebody help me like move the tires around, because it was just like so time consuming. So like that was not that good of a deal. It would be a good deal if it was a smaller shop, but not the amount of tires that I need. This next story is another wholesaling used tire place. This was in the middle of LA. It was a smaller place, and there was another sneaky guy. Remember the first story I told you about my dad that got screwed by the little guy, that little old man? Well, a similar guy, but this guy was like a Middle Eastern guy, and he was out to screw shop. So he had a good stuff. Like it was probably like about, I would say he had like less tires than me actually. Like if you're looking here now, the place was smaller, but he had more like close together, and a little bit about this high. But he had some good stuff. But the problem was that on purpose, the workers and him, I mean, it was only a two-person operation, but they would like say you got more tires than you really did. And this is really right in front of you too. So I'll be like, hey, well, that's not the count, you know, like that's not the count, like. And they were just like, oh yeah, no, that's the count. So like, yes, it was good tires, but when it comes to counting the tires, they would say it was like this number when it was like this number. And I caught them, and so I just let it slide, because I wasn't gonna go back no more. And then I went back. Well, I didn't go back. I called them actually again. So said, hey, like I double checked, and that's not the amount. No, yes it was. So I was like, oh, for sure I can tell that they were doing it on purpose. And so I just never went back again. It was just like, when I had like a few junk ones, but I was like, I caught it out. I'm not gonna throw those things away. I'm not gonna return them. So then, the moral of that story is, when you're counting tires, depends. You know, most places are very honest. But you know, you might, if you're doing so much business like me, you're gonna catch a guy here and there like that's not honest. So count your tires. You might want to count them in front of it, and I would even say recount them. Like if it was me back in the day again, I was like, you know what? Let's unload everything, and let's count all over again, just to put them right in their place. Like, hey, you know, that's not the number. You know, like this is no number, and so like, you know, I mean, it was like, whatever, I lost some money there, but they lost my business, and I was a big buyer. And like back then, that was like what, a truck every time I went, and I needed way more than that, like all the time. So I would go like, I would go here and there, but I could have went a lot more if they were honest. But I kind of caught them the first time, a little line, and I just let it go. Maybe they messed up, and then caught him again. I caught him again. I was like, dude, like, this is like shady shit. So they just completely lost my business, and it was more bad for them because I had more places to choose from. So, and I was getting like massive amount of tires back then. It's not like now that I'm really under control with my inventory, and there's not as much business as it was before when I had like 5 workers, 6 workers at one time, you know. But you know, when you adjust, you can make yourself more profitable than other times if you know how to work the business. But I'm just not moving as much tires as I was back then. But yeah, so that was like that story. So just count your tires when you're getting from these tire wholesalers. And yeah, so pretty much hope these stories help. I have a lot more, but I think that's a lot. That's way good enough for this video, right? So have a good night, everybody. Mamba out.